is Alyssa Meyerly reporting live for WLS Chicago with breaking news on the supposed wizard murders. Police found Jennifer Stanton, an employee of an expensive escort service called the Velvet Room, and Tommy Tom, associate of the disreputable Johnny Marconi, dead in a hotel room last week. According to the coroner's report, the cause of death was the victims' hearts exploding out of their chests. Chicago police don't know what connection the wizard named Harry Dresden has with the victims at this time. A witness who wishes to remain nameless says that he saw Dresden entering Marconi's car after leaving the hotel where the two bodies were found. Madame Bianca St. Clair, owner of the Velvet Room where Stanton was working, stated that Dresden was the only one in the city with the kind of skill required to cast that sort of spell. The word spell, of course, refers to how Dresden calls himself a wizard, and the highly abnormal and gruesome fate that the victims suffered. Midwestern Arcane reporter Susan Rodriguez seems to believe that Dresden is indeed a wizard. In her article, Date with a Demon, she stated that she had spent a night with Dresden in his apartment, and that there was definitely something interesting about their little get-together. She says that upon arrival to Dresden's apartment, she found him in scrubby attire, unclean and barefoot. She made a comment that he seemed to be expecting somebody. Sure enough, a creature that she described as rather squat, less than 5 feet tall, and dressed in a plain brown trench coat, showed up at Dresden's door soon after. Dresden, who was in the shower at the time, came out to take care of it without getting dressed, and then forced her to hide in a dark basement. She states that her memory becomes slightly fuzzy after that, but she does remember throwing up while Dresden apparently defeated the figure. Police have now connected the wizard to another murder that followed the same pattern as the other two. The victim's name was Linda Randall, and she was also an employee of the Velvet Room. The cause of death was the same as Stanton's and Tommy's, and more evidence points to Harry Dresden. Chicago businessman Greg Beckett says that he saw Dresden with Randall when she went to pick him up at the airport with his wife, Helen. Randall told him that Dresden was an ex-lover of hers, and that Dresden's business card was found at the scene of the crime. Photographer Donnie Wise says that he found Dresden at the crime scene after police had taped it up, waiting for him. He reports that Dresden interrogated him and said he was a cop, though he had no badge. Detective of Special Investigations Ron Carmichael says that his partner, Lieutenant Karen Murphy, also the director of Special Investigations with the Chicago PD, was an associate of Dresden's, and that she and Dresden often worked together. According to Carmichael, Dresden's a fraud. He's a charlatan that is just scamming the city for money. Nothing he says is anything different from what we investigators have already figured out. Murphy reports that when she asked Dresden to come down to the station to make a statement, he never showed up, and she was forced to take a warrant out for his arrest. Murphy also had a warrant to search his apartment, but ended up going to the emergency room after some sort of accident that she allegedly does not recall. Police have not yet apprehended any suspects in this baffling murder case, but rest assured that WLS will keep you informed of any details as we get them. This has been Alyssa Meyerly reporting live for WLS Chicago.